Vyrah reporting for duty another time together. All right, so today we're gonna do the I watch YouTube, you watch with me, and it's actually content. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. Some React content. It's been a while. It's always the most difficult part of it is actually to get into it, to be honest. Who would have believed? I will have never believed that, like, getting into that. Let me just check out, like, everything is in order on my side. What the fuck you got? I have a buy grade till pass, but like, all right. Right. Okay. So yeah, we're gonna do some React, and I guess that's it. All right, a lot of things to fucking check out. So yeah. All right. Right. Let's start off with I don't know what the all right. Let's go with, like, first, like, where is it? The first trailer. Let's see what's new on the news. Okay, and let me check just if my sound works for my videos. Awesome. Okay. So, Scarven teaser trailer three weeks ago. Let's check this out.
Regeringens nye udspil, der kommer i kølvandet på Statistisk Bureaus opsigtsvækkende rapport tidligere på året. Rapporten, der blev udgivet på 15-årsdagen for ulykken på Dalgasværket, fastslår nemlig, at hidtidige tiltag kun har haft reel effekt på fertilitetskrisen, og at vi må forberede os på en halvering af befolkningstallet allerede i 2020.
Okay, let's go back. This is actually, I love the aesthetic. The aesthetic is quite the aesthetic that I like. Like, this is the type of stuff, this type of indie. This type of indie has always, like, something to kind of like make you feel, to kind of like bring to the table, to kind of like do some escapism. Really cool trailer. Like, shows the aesthetic, show that, like, it's in Germany. Ach nein, it is in Germany. What the fuck? Apparently it's in Germany. Well, German game. But, like, they keep, like, the Germany part. And then, like, I really like the fact that, like, it's a teaser trailer, but, like, you're back right into the action. You get the gun, you get to see how, because this is gameplay, right? And I'm like, bah, like you get to see a little bit how it goes, and bam. So this is interesting. Is this like the fucking like game that everyone was waiting for? No, but like is this like is this something like worthy of like checking out? I guess like indie games these days, like to be honest, like every indie game these days are like worthy of something, I'd say, you know. Let me just, so yeah, Starvin, worthy of checking. And yeah. Okay. This okay, this is interesting. More information about Resident Evil 9 Requiem. This is really, really, really interesting because I'm curious curious of that, and yeah. So this is called Leon Reveal. So Leon will be in Resident Evil. Who doesn't fucking love Leon? So let's check this out.
Hello?
It hasn't been easy. But after much effort, here we finally are.
Who are you?
I know now that you're the one that I've been searching for. The special one. The chosen one. Miss Ashcroft.
Talk to me. Is this one like the others? And it's not post-mortem lividity. Hey, I just got a report of a missing police officer. It might be unrelated, but he disappeared near where the 5th body was found.
Through you, Elpis can finally be set free.
The team has settled on a person of interest. Someone with ties to Umbrella. Victor Gideon.
Grace! Grace!
Victor purchased a building after Umbrella went under. I'll send you the address.
Welcome. Dr. Gideon has been expecting you.
You there, Leon?
Leon!
Yeah. Hey, over here. FBI. What are you doing here?
Would you like to see what's hidden under the hood?
Don't do anything stupid.
Me? Never.
Wow.
I think I want a second opinion.
Okay, and we get to see a little bit of gameplay. This is absolutely evil. It's a residential joke. Resident Evil 9 Requiem, actually a game I am interested in. I want to check out. So I'm actually happy about like Leon, because I don't know. Like I said in the other trailers, like for like the whole about Resident Evil 9, what's great is that not only you play like, well, Leon, but like the main protagonist is an FBI agent. And so basically like you do not start as someone who actually for some reason knows how to fucking like read files, do use guns and survive in like the hostile territories, right? And basically like this is the interesting part. The rest like I always like the fucking Resident Evil stories, like so yeah, worth checking out indeed. Yeah, at least in my opinion. Okay, so this is Resident Evil Requiem, third trailer. We got 2 trailer already. God damn. Oh, we got the third one. Let's check this out. Wait.
Elpis can finally be.
Purchased a building after.
Actually, let's not check this out. It's the Leon reveal, the third trailer. All right, so no third trailer. All right. Okay. So this is Cast Out reveal trailer. I don't know what it is. It seems to be quite the indie game, so let's check it out. Okay, so ever heard of Hyrule Warriors? No, Hyrule, you know, like Hyrule in Zelda. Yeah, Hyrule Warriors is basically like the game, and basically this game is basically like, it seems like smash them all, right, type of thing, where like you fight against like armies by yourself, and I don't know, I don't like the aesthetic. It's not my style, and I do not like this type of gameplay. This type of gameplay loop is really not my thing. It is not the thing of many, because like if Zelda cannot fucking like win in this type of like type of yeah, like selling this type of games, pretty sure like no one can. All right, if the fucking Zelda franchise cannot fucking do that. So yeah. I don't know. Not interesting. I don't like the aesthetic. I don't like the aesthetic at all. It's not my style at all. All right. Spark of Tomorrow. Let's check it out.
帰ってこなかった。電気の時代を一緒に作る。その約束を破りやがった。
Are you fucking joking? There's no translation.
あれから4年、 電気の時代は来ていない。
Well, fuck that. I will not. My Japanese is not like fucking. I don't fucking know. I'll speak Japanese. My bad. Oh, fucking god.
Hey, my name's Jedith, and
My fucking god. I'll be right back. I'll be right back on this one. Fucking god. Yeah, I'll be right back. Just give me a moment. All right, I'm back. Let me just check on let me just check on if everything is actually working out. Perfect. All right. So let's just, I need to do this last check. All right. I don't see it. All right.
hey, my name's Jedith. And this is an in-depth look.
Okay. So everything is swell. All right. So new Void DH. Actually, Demon Hunters gets a fourth specialization. It is called Void Demon Hunter. It is a caster, which is really interesting, and well, let's discover it together. I'm actually pretty, like, it's not my class, so I do not care, but like I actually care because for spec, like really Blizzard was really inspired to offer like a new type of gameplay for Demon Hunter, and they actually went over like their own like well, kind of like set of like rules, which is really interesting because, well, I don't know. Let's check it out.
Look at Devourer. World of Warcraft. Hey, my name's Jedith, and this is an in-depth look at Devourer. World of Warcraft Midnight is coming early 2026. With it comes a brand new third spec for Demon Hunters called Devourer, along with a new race option for Demon Hunters, Void Elves. The Devourer Demon Hunter is a new mid-range DPS spec focusing on Void and Cosmic damage. It uses a hybrid playstyle with both ranged and melee abilities, making it feel familiar but also a breath of fresh air at the same time. WoW has never had a DPS spec like this before. If you've always dreamt of embracing the Void, practicing the dark cosmic arts, and, well, shooting a massive blue laser beam from your face, you're gonna love Devourer. So, how does it work?
So this reminds me of actually the fight against the 3 Demon Hunters in the last raid, Mana Forge Omega, which is actually, there is like this. So I guess if you want some more ideas of, if you don't play the beta, the PTR, right? If you don't go on the PTR. If you want an idea, well, the Demon Hunter encounter that you get in the Mana Forge actually can encompass some of the gameplay that you're about as a Demon Hunter to be able to experience. So yeah, quite interesting.
Devourer gameplay revolves around two resources, Fury and Soul Fragment. You're probably wondering how we got here, and that's a fair question. Let me see if I can explain how demon hunters have become devourers in under 1 minute. Then we can get back to the nerdy stuff and I'll teach you how to play it.
Okay, this is really cool that like they added lore to that. This is a small touch, but like for like players like me and for many, like this is a small touch that is appreciated.
In the War Within's final major patch, we travel to Koresh, the homeworld of the Ethereals, where we run into an Illidari demon hunter named Adaris Duskblaze.
I've sacrificed everything.
Adaris developed a bit of an interest in the cosmic powers of the Void and befriended a Void Elf named Leona Darkstrider along with her leader, Magister Umbric, in hopes of learning a thing or two. The agreement was that Adaris would teach the Void Elves the secret of the Illidari, allowing them to become future demon hunters, and in return, they'd teach Adaris to wield the powers of the Void. Now, fast forward a bit, and Adaris attempts to absorb
Okay, this is really cool. This is really cool.
a Koreshi Void fragment. What could possibly go wrong? Instead of letting the Void flow through him, Adaris tries to control it, and of course, the ritual backfired. The cave starts to collapse, Adaris is going berserk, and you, the player character, have no choice but to punt Adaris into the portal that he opened, and disaster is prevented. The next time we see our buddy Adaris is the Soul Hunters encounter in the Manaforge Omega raid, where we get our first taste of Void-themed Demon Hunter attacks, giving players not so subtle hints towards the upcoming new third spec.
Actually, what I was talking about. Sometimes, you know, like you play the game and you know what's going on. It really happens like once every fucking once every 1,000 full moons, but like sometimes it happens. Right?
All right, where was I? Devourer gameplay revolves around entering Void Metamorphosis to cast
That was really a good explanation though. Like good on him. Like he really fucking did a good job. Sometimes like it's really stupid, but like really thankful that like he explained this little bit of lore.
Where was I? Devourer gameplay revolves around entering Void Metamorphosis to cast Collapsing Star while managing two resources, Fury and Soul Fragments. Soul Fragments are what allow you to enter meta and cast Collapsing Star, while Fury is what dictates how long you're able to stay in meta form. To enter Void Metamorphosis, we need to collect Soul Fragments. If we take the talent Soul Glutton, we'll require less Soul Fragments to enter Void meta, but our Fury will drain faster, meaning we spend less time in meta, but enter it more often. If we take Emptiness, we gain lots of haste, meaning our casts are faster, more frequent, and we can stay in meta for a longer period of time because we're generating more Fury.
So this is interesting because like this is like a gameplay loop that actually does not exist in World of Warcraft, because you actually are bound, your gameplay is bound to collecting resources on the surrounding you, which is actually really interesting when it comes to like gameplay variety and just gameplay in general, because like from what I've seen, like it's the only spec that actually requires you to wander around collecting our resource. So this is cool. This is cool. Not my thing. It's not my style of gameplay. I absolutely will hate to actually play like that. But I think that like this is actually really interesting when it comes to gameplay wise. And plus it's a 4 spec, so it's not like it is not. Because like if it was a 3rd spec, maybe it will have been like I will have like I have more reaction. But like 4 spec, like unique gameplay, that is like something that that I do not see as interesting at all. Like it doesn't matter as much, you know. So yeah.
So how do we generate soul fragments? The most straightforward way is the ability called Consume. This spell generates both soul fragments and fury, and can be cast while moving. Cool, right? We wouldn't be demon hunters without having speedy movement capabilities. As you use Consume, you'll notice all of those soul fragments landing on the ground in front of you.
I wonder how it will look in PvP though. Like in arena, in PvP, this will be like an interesting like way to actually like I want to see other demon hunters, you know, like
You can run around to pick them up. You totally have that freedom. But even better, you can use the ability called Reap, which will automatically collect soul fragments off the ground when you use it. So you're casting Consume, using Reap to collect soul fragments, and all the while you're generating Fury. Once you get enough Fury, you'll be able to use one of the coolest abilities we have, Void Ray. By the way, the Void Ray ability icon has a man on it, so obviously we call him Raymond. Well, that's what I call him at least. Void Ray uses all of your fury to shoot a huge voidy frontal beam just like Havoc's eye beam and turns the mobs into soul fragment pinatas. So far what I've described has played like a pure spellcasting spec, but now we can start to weave in the additional melee combo mechanics. Devourer has a 3 ability combo that can be added in to bring the mid-range hybrid playstyle to life. Void Blade is a single target ability that can be juiced up with talents and pulls you right into melee range. After Void Blade is used, that ability turns into a new ability called Hungering Slash, which is a big 360-degree AoE slash and grants you a free use of Vengeful Retreat, the final step in the combo, to vault you back out from melee range to continue casting. The Hunt can also be used in place of Void Blade to start the sequence. Yeah, that's right. Devourer has their own step in the comp Void Blade.
You can see that like the dude was actually in PTR because like there are like random players. Like the dude actually like didn't wait it like until people left. I mean, I get it. It's just funny that like on a you know, it's kind of like the behind the scene. You will think that like they actually like fucking like do it on a GM place, you know, like on or something. And actually no, like the dude went on PTR like everyone else and did the fucking testing like everyone else, and actually did the guide like anyone else could, but for Blizzard. Like it's just the behind the scene that I like, you know?
Yeah, that's right. Devourer has their own Void version of the Hunt. So the sequence is Void Blade or the Hunt into Hungering Slash into Vengeful Retreat. At this point, you'll have enough soul fragments to enter Void meta, like we talked about earlier. Once you enter meta, you're racing against the clock as your fury begins to drain faster and faster. The longer you stay in meta, the faster that bar starts to empty. Once it reaches 0, you fall out of meta form and start the process again. Your #1 goal inside of meta is to cast Collapsing Star. After entering meta, you now need to collect enough soul fragments each time you want to cast Collapsing Star. Now this is where things get a little insane. Each consecutive Collapsing Star used while in Void meta increases its damage every time. So play your cards right, generate enough soul fragments, and you'll be obliterating everything in sight with Collapsing Star. Generating soul fragments is done the exact same way that you did outside of Metamorphosis. The only difference is now all of your abilities have transformed into their supercharged versions and do extra damage. Now, instead of Void Ray requiring Fury to use, it's on a cooldown and actually pauses your Fury drain, helping you stay in meta form longer. So that's your basic gameplay loop for Devourer. Generate soul fragments,
this is cool.
enter Void meta, cast as many Collapsing Stars as you can. Rinse and repeat.
So it looks like kind of like simple or not, right? But like what's important to remember is that actually like there's a lot of like moving that is like movement that is involved into this gameplay loop. And because of that, I think it's really interesting, like lots of movement and different type of movement, because like there's like some void hunter like as a caster, like movement is not the same as a melee. So this is really interesting. Congrats to you, the Demon Hunters. You got the 4th spec because Blizzard got inspired, and sometimes you get inspired to even like to undergo like to go like kind of like the a way that like you wouldn't expect, because like before that it was yeah, there was like on Druid, right? Like there were like others, but like it was basically because of like double talent trees that could be used, right? Like here it's like really cool, like god damn. WoW is just like making more and more like good decisions, I think, you know.
Now let's take a look at Devourer's 2 hero talent tree options. First, let's dig into the newly renamed Void Scarred talent tree. These talents revolve around enhancing your melee combat by incorporating Void Surges, deadly explosions that happen around your character while executing your melee combo. This tree also encourages frequent Void meta by providing you with bonuses upon entry. This is where that spec tree capstone talent, Soul Glutton, really shines by reducing the soul fragment cost of Void meta and allows you to enter meta much more often. Now, the other hero talent tree option is Annihilator. This tree focuses on empowering Reap and Collapsing Star. You'll be calling down Voidfall meteors from the sky to do massive AoE damage, as well as put on an impressive light show for your friends. Annihilator encourages you to focus on longer metamorphosis uptime and goes hand in hand with Emptiness. Then to bring it all together, we have Apex talents, which are new in the Midnight expansion. These talents enhance your Collapsing Star even further by guaranteeing that they crit, increasing the damage that those crits do, and automatically giving you a cost-free use of Collapsing Star every time you enter meta. If you like this video, you can find more of my content at youtube.com/JedithTV. Link will be down in the description. I hope you enjoy Devourer and everything that has to offer.
And I did enjoy your thank you, Jedith, for this guide. Like, this was awesome. This was awesome. Like, okay. More information about new Void DH, huh? So DPS obviously, and yeah, like this is actually like really cool. This is really interesting.
Hi, team.
Just give me a second. Okay. Silver Moon City Tour with feed Fiamma collects. Let's check it out. So Silver Moon actually becomes like a center part of like the Midnight expansion. So we get to actually like get to have like something new.
I'm Fiamma, and today I'll be your guide for a tour of Silvermoon City in all its shiny new glory. Whether you're a Horde veteran returning to the city, an Alliance champion warily stepping through the gates, or if this is your first time learning of the grand capital of the Blood Elves, there's something here for you to discover, explore.
Yeah, learning about like the capital of the fucking Blood Elves. Do you know why? Because like fucking like it's kind of like this fucking Darnasius. Like, it's even worse than Darnasius. Like, who the fuck goes to fucking like since the Blood Elves like came by, like it was always like a kind of this empty capital that is really beautiful, like technically like one of the most beautiful like capitals, but at the same time it's so remote that like, well, why would you go there, right? So this is really interesting.
Or engage with on your journey to battle the void.
And gotta say, like, I'm just watching the images. Okay, some things changed. What the fuck? It's beautiful.
The city is enormous, and we could tour it for days without discovering everything. But stick with me, and I'll show you the highlights. For those of you familiar with Silvermoon prior to the rebuild, you'll know it wasn't exactly a small city to begin with, but now it's huge. The dead scar has been healed, and the ruins reincorporated to make a capital at least twice the size it used to be, and it is gorgeous. Blood Elf architecture has always been one of my favourites in the game, but the rebuild has truly taken it to the next level, with towering spires of ivory, shimmering crimson drapes, and buildings that are truly iridescent, like they've been infused with the light itself. The familiar white, red and gold of the Sindorai is everywhere, and the city is lush with little patches of grass, water features and beautiful trees growing all around, a small piece of the forest outside brought in. At ground level, it feels alive with nobles lounging around, vendors selling their wares, residents strolling through the streets and guards attempting to keep the peace. But from the air, it's a different experience entirely. With the rebuild comes the ability to fly overhead, and the view is spectacular. From
This fucking show off. She got like the
rebuild
fucking
comes the
like.
ability-
She got the fucking phoenix, and she's like, it's just cute. Like, you get to see what's the taste of like this streamer, this content creator as a mount. She got the mount. She's proud. Like she got like one time to do a video. It's like so, that's the mount. That's about that. Like, maybe just leave me the fuck alone. I find it cute, alright?
ability to fly overhead, and the view is spectacular. From the air, you might notice that part of the city looks a little different to the rest, with red banners in the sky, crimson foliage on the trees, the windows glow red, even the paving is a little darker. Silvermoon has been exclusively a Horde capital city since the Burning Crusade, and although recent events have meant members of the Alliance are now permitted in parts, these brighter red areas are still reserved for the Horde. Where you see the golden rooftops, blue and purple banners, and aqua windows is neutral territory, and everything you'd expect to find in an expansion capital is accessible to both factions. It's easy to tell the difference on your world map too, with the red and gold rooftops clearly illustrated.
So this will be the main city, I guess, for like midnight. It's actually, I'm actually really happy about this.
From the ground, entrances to Horde areas are marked with enormous red banners, so hopefully you won't stray where you aren't welcome, and you'll keep your head.
Everything is fucking red, like the red banners, like enormous red. Yeah, but like it's awesome. It's just like I think like what?
Speaking of new things, one sight that took my breath away was the new grand entrance to the city, the Path of Dawn. Riding through these gates for the first time was awe-inspiring. Pay no mind to the void storm in the background. I'm sure it'll be fine. But of course that won't be your first sight of the city. You'll be approaching from the north. Luckily, the Shining Span has been built, a bridge reconnecting Silvermoon City to the Isle of Golnass, and the view from this end is just as breathtaking. If you're familiar with the northernmost edge of Eversong Woods, you might remember the old entrance to Silvermoon, tucked over behind Still Whisper Pond. The pond with its crescent-shaped pavilion is still here, but the now side entrance has been beautifully opened up as it deserves, but only for the Horde. Shiny pretty things are all well and good, you might be thinking, but what can I do there? Why should I visit? I mentioned earlier that Silvermoon houses everything you'd expect of an expansion hub. Now let me show you. As you enter through the main gate, hop on your mount and fly up a level to the circular pavilion. Up these steps, you'll find the newest outpost of the trading post, ready for you to spend your tenders each month. Just beyond that, ducking through a doorway on your right, you'll meet Vyrah Sanguinar, our new delving companion in the new Delver's headquarters. Dropping off this level,
wait, what?
Our new delving companion
It's Vyrah that we get as a fucking, oh my fucking god, we get Vyrah Sanguinar as a fucking delve companion. Midnight is the best expansion that we ever. Big simple Vyrah. What the fuck? We get Vyrah as a fucking like that companion. This is fucking awesome. This is fucking awesome. Like wow, this is a small detail. We knew that like we would get like more delver companions, and literally like this is really fucking awesome. Like. Fucking Vyrah, like, god damn. Delves will be like fucking awesome in the fucking midnight, let me tell you. Like, sub spot changes are like quite appreciated.
In the new Delver's headquarters. Dropping off this level, past the giant golden hood ornament and heading inside, you'll find the auction house, ready to take all your gold. Exit and turn right. Head up the grand staircase, the smallest staircase, and the smallest staircase to find Wayfarer's Rest, Silvermoon's neutral inn. To the right of this building, you'll find a doorway leading to the portal room, taking you back to your faction's capital city, Stormwind or Orgrimmar. Down the stairs from here will bring you to the bank, where you can find your vault, and around the corner are familiar Drakthir, keen to help us upgrade our gear. To the north is our profession hub, with the Artisans Consortium ready to help us place crafting orders. And just to the west of that, you'll find the portal to the Timeways for those keen Mythic Plus players. A little further south of the portal is one of my favourite additions to the city. This gorgeous, amazing, beautiful fountain featuring lava spewing forth from a regal phoenix carving. Oh yes, this is the new catalyst. I guess some of you might find that information important. For those die-hard Horde fanatics who are still feeling...
Is this an insult because like some people don't fucking like do the fucking raid and like...
feeling a little uncomfy having members of the Alliance flood the streets of your beloved city? I'm happy to report that quite a few of these features have counterparts in the Crimson Quarter. Entering through the Shepherd's Gate, turn right and head all the way up the stairs to find your very own catalyst. Still...
let me just...
Still a resplendent, lava-spitting phoenix. Following the bend around will bring you past all of our private professions trainers until you curl to the left for the Royal Exchange Auction House. Directly across the courtyard is the Silvermoon City Inn, and on the same level, around to the left, the Royal Exchange Bank, complete with vault. If you can spare some time for a little bit of sightseeing, there are some spots you simply have to check out. In the northwest of the city is Thalassian University, where novices and academics can be found learning from their professors and honing their crafts among the Phoenix Bloodfeathers and Runaway spellbooks. But just downstairs, near the entrance, is a grass chessboard, complete with viewing platform and plenty of seating. I can't wait to see players don their trading post best and line up on the board to play. Maybe a guild versus guild tournament or 5? To the west is...
This is actually cool. Like, you can play chess, like, publicly, like, just like in New York City. Like, no, because, like, this is, like, the small thing, but, like, goddamn, this is, like, this is really cool. This is,
the newly built Gardens of Remembrance, with the lawns and flower beds making the shape of the Silvermoon Phoenix emblem. A couple of docile mannerworms fly about while city residents and children wander around, or sit and just take it all in. On the sculpture in the middle of the garden, you'll find an in memoriam plaque. If you stay a while and listen, a familiar face will pay her respects. This beautiful garden would make the perfect spot to have a picnic, to take a breath from all that adventuring, or just to remember what has been and prepare for what is to come. For those of you wondering where Lorthamar's wife is amongst all this mess and fighting, you can pay her a visit if you'd like. Head to the northeast and fly up, up, up to the floating Sun Fury Spire. Past the Silvermoon Royal Guard and up the stairs, you'll find first Arcanist Thalystra and 3 of her Nightborn Arcanists. Murder Row has always been a sketchy part of town, but if you keep your wits about you as you explore, you can find some truly marvellous little places. Right at the northernmost end, you'll find a cute little club, but I don't think we're supposed to talk about it. If you're feeling spicy, have a chat to Doris and slip her a few gold, see what happens. Just up the stairs, I was drawn in once by shimmering green fellfire, but I guess I got a little too close. Turns out, I'm not on the list. At the westernmost entrance of the row, it's worth paying a visit to Silvery Serenades, and not only for Denia's epic housing decor. Have a chat with Nail Silvertongue to learn about open mic night, and be prepared to share some of your more subversive poetry, quietly. As you wander through, there may be a few oddities that make you want to stop and stare. Some merchants, a couple of fortune tellers. Just be sure not to stare for too long, and you should be fine. Should be. Depending on the vibe you're seeking for the rest of your day here in Silvermoon City, there are 2 last stops I'd recommend. First, the Silver Chalice, right here in Murder Row. Definitely more of the same clientele here, a few tasty beverages from your wine trader near the entrance, and if all that mingling gets you in the mood for a hunt, the venue serves as an alternate access to Astalor's sanctum, where I'm sure he'll be happy to suggest some prey once you're strong enough. Alternatively, if you're looking for a palate cleanser after all of the untoward business of the row, head directly above the Silver Chalice to find the Missing Links, Silvermoon's very own pet cafe. Puppies, kittens, and other friendly animals await you, and almost all of them can be pet. even Howie the Crab. Just watch your fingers with this one. Find a
This
spot
is
to
so
curl up and watch the critters
adorable.
play. They're an adorably noisy bunch. I think this is a lovely spot to wrap up today's tour. What do you think? Dig into a cupcake and tell me all about your journeys through Silvermoon City. Do you have a must-see spot I should add to the tour for the next group? The city is huge and I have no doubt I've missed something spectacular. Don't hold
This is actually like quite a beautiful city tour. So we get Vyrah as a fucking like new Delph companion. This was worth the watch. Just for that, this was worth the watch. You know what? I'll try to fucking like be a kid for like for a fucking moment and be like, they have a pet cafe. They have a pet cafe, right? So this was like the most important like part. Thank you so much, Fiamma Collects, for like the tour. Quite appreciated.
This will make you laugh. For the last 12 months, this will make you laugh. For the last 12
Just check real quick. Okay. So apparently someone fucking like did something and someone fucking the wrong person heard about it, so we get to fucking like hear the fucking like a sub story of someone who fucked up in the gaming industry this time. Let's check it out. What the fuck? How did someone like is about to fucking make me lose any hope for like any fucking viable future for myself and for everyone else?
12 months, a Eurogamer reviewer has apparently been haunted by the 5-star review that he gave to Dragon Age The Veilguard. His words are, "It plagues me." His review called it the best Dragon Age and the best BioWare game he's ever played. 5 out of 5, a perfect score, a masterpiece. 1 year later, he admits he doesn't think it's a 5-star game, doesn't think it's BioWare's best, says it's been haunting him for the last 12 months. Yet the score's still up, still there, still misleading people. But it gets worse. The same week that article dropped, the Grammys announced their best video game soundtrack nominations. Star Wars Outlaws made the list, so did Avatar and Indiana Jones. And guess what didn't? Claire Obscure Expedition 33, one of 2025's highest rated games, arguably Game of the Year for most. 5 million copies sold.
Okay, I will go into that for real. Another like these days like video video game journalism industry is actually like something that is questionable within like even like is like it's fucking like existence to this point. Like, to be fair, like it's revolting unless it's been like since you fucking heard about like the video game industry. You can make like, I guess like to me, like the video game video game journalism has become quite like it's so bad that like it will offer motivation to actually for people to actually seek for like a second opinion that will be from actual content creators. And so basically they do, by working badly, they do promotion to us content creators. So I think that like overall what he's about to say is absolutely like awful, right? And but at the same time it's like, yeah, but all these people, they fucking see that and then they hear about like one story too much, and then they fucking like turn to people, turn to content creators rather than fucking video game journalists, and we get to have like we get to be rewarded with better platforms because we actually like to do fulfill the promises that like they do. So I guess it's a good thing. I guess it's a good thing. Like bad journalism means journalists without a platform can do good journalism, pretty much.
Number 1 on the Billboard classical chart for 10 weeks. One of the best game soundtracks in a decade. Got nothing, not even a mention. Same week, same industry, same broken machine that decides what you're supposed to play. And if you're still trusting these people, then listen up. Dragon Age the Veilguard scored an 84 critic score on Metacritic. User score of 3.9. Says it all. We all know.
Here's the thing. User score better than the critic score. And I think that like the reason is that like people are overprotecting, right? So this guy is actually like not someone that is completely like offended. It's just like protective of gamers, you know. And I think that like because of that, like, but at the same time, like the gamers in general, like they're not stupid people, and like the fucking gamer reviews and gamer score is way much more value to them than anything else.
Know the reason why by now without even mentioning this thing. The game went through multiple reboots over 11 years, nearly became a live service game, had to be rescued by a Mass Effect team sent in to salvage what was left. The development was a mess, the writing was even worse somehow, the game showed it. But sure, 5 stars, BioWare's best game ever according to this guy. Now 12 months later he admits, I don't think it's a 5-star game, says that when asked if he'd score it differently.
And this is like kind of like the thing where it's like when you actually like do like honestly try to do your best, right? Like, dude, can you believe that like this dude like did one review? I do reviews all the time for like made games, video games, anime, and what's that? Well, and it's like 12 months later, and it's like, do you know how fucking long 12 months is within like the gaming industry? In 12 months, like, this is like a lifetime, and it's like 12 months later, oh my fucking god, dude, get over it. That's why you don't fucking like, well, I guess like maybe you'll fucking like change, or but like I'm just like, you know, what the fuck gives a fuck about like a fucking random review 12 months later? Just one dude that actually like was dishonest, but technically like the dude is not even like too much to shame, because like they have to fucking like give something back to the people that actually pays them, right? Well, at the same time it's just like, what the fuck as like a fucking like regret fucking sub story about one review 12 months later. One, like, it's such a drama. Like like, is this K-drama? Like, did like video game journalism evolve to the point where like we're like living, you know, like watching like Korean drama like unfold? I don't know, but it sounds like K-drama. Now I'm like, okay, if I tell myself this is I'm watching some K-drama, it makes sense.
Now he said, yes, I would. Probably land on 4 stars now. Probably 4 stars, maybe, but he's not sure. What he is sure about is it's haunted him, plagues him, been thinking about it for 12 months. Poor bloke, 12 months of torment. Still won't change the score though, because apparently Eurogamer's policy is reviews are a snapshot in time. You can't alter them, not something they do. And of course they don't, right? It's a convenient policy when your snapshot's bordering on a lie. They could add an editor's note, a correction, something that says they got this wrong. But no, the 5-star review sits there still recommending the game, still calling it BioWare's best, still misleading people who stumble across it looking for guidance. So why'd he give it 5 stars in the first place? Because the system's designed to produce exactly this result. Publishers fly critics to preview events months before release, controlled environments, curated slices of the game. These journalists then leave and say that it's worth the wait, and of course they do, they have to. Then the review codes drop, massive RPGs, days to hit the embargo date, race to publish first because being first means traffic and traffic means money. You play the game, you write it, you score it, you move on as quickly as possible. And if the game's got problems that only show up after a dozen hours or in the real world conditions that we actually experience, they miss them, or they don't have time to think about them, or they just ignore them. Either way, the embargo doesn't wait. The system produced a 5-star review for a game that's now haunting the bloke that wrote it. The system is working exactly as it's intended. He didn't take a bribe, he just did exactly what the machine's designed to make him do, and now he's plagued by it. Just not plagued enough to actually fix it. But if you think that's just another example of games...
Yeah, but technically the problem is like it's a space shack and it doesn't like do as he wants. It's like this is kind of like the thing about like gaming shirts. It's like it's in between. Everyone hates him, but you know what? You know, in this industry, what's good to have a fucking like stable income, and so everyone hates them. Oh yeah, but like they like a stable income and being able to even like talk about video games in general, you know, like as a job. They have like they are forced quotas and like forced to do stuff. Yeah, but like at least like they're passionate as well. It's just that like you cannot like break this mold like this easily. I guess you need like a lot of personality, or like find a corporate that is not too pesky about like these type of things, right?
Media being terrible at their jobs. It gets worse. In the same week, the Grammys announced their 2026 video games.
I cannot believe that fucking Avatar still exists. Like this stuff like I remember that like I don't remember much about my life when I fucking like heard about this movie, right? It's like it's still on my fucking god.
Soundtrack nominations. Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora made the list. So did Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. So did Star Wars Outlaws. Clair Obscur, Expedition 33. You know, the greatest soundtrack in the last 20 years got nothing. Not even a mention. When was the last time you heard someone mention Avatar's soundtrack? Or Indiana Jones's? Or Star Wars Outlaws? Go on any social media right now.
Who the fuck talks about like soundtracks anyway?
And try to find anyone talking about those soundtracks. They literally don't exist in the conversation whatsoever. Now search Clair Obscur and you'll find thousands of people calling it one of the best game soundtracks in years. It hit #1 on the Billboard Classical chart. It stayed there for 10 weeks. The game sold 5 million copies, had no massive marketing budget, just a small French studio that made something people actually loved. It's one of 2025's highest rated games, arguably one of the best RPGs of this millennium, a genuine phenomenon. And the Grammys ignored it completely. Meanwhile, massive AAA games that literally nobody is talking about get the nominations. Even the people who were nominated know it's a robbery. Austin Wintory, the composer nominated for his work on Sword of the Sea, said he was sad at the lack of Expedition 33 and said he'd happily trade places. A nominee openly saying that the game that got snubbed deserved it more than he did. So why did it happen? It happened for the same reason that Eurogamer gave Veilguard 5 stars. Visibility over value. Sandfall Interactive is a small studio. No lobbying power, no industry clout, no ad spend at the Grammy voting events. Meanwhile, EA, Ubisoft, Disney, they've got the big budgets, the sponsors, the connections. Awards aren't about what's best, they're about who's loudest. The most visible, who pays, who you know, who you owe. Both of these examples are part of the same broken system. So keep this in mind, because if you're still reading day one reviews from these places, you're being lied to. But most of us worked that out years ago. The trust is gone now and it's not coming back, which makes what's happening with indie games even more impressive. When a game like Clair Obscur sells 5 million copies, it wasn't just handed that success. There were no fancy events, no awards considerations, no media access machines churning out hype. hype. It took the hard route. When Silksong launched and hit almost 600,000 concurrent players on Steam, 587,000 to be exact, breaking records, crashing storefronts, it did that based on one thing: trust in Team Cherry. 7 years of waiting, no over-the-top marketing campaigns, no lies, just a studio that delivered the first time and earned the belief and the trust that they'd do it again. That's what makes these successes so insane. They did it without the machine, completely separate of it. They weren't just handed a free pass, just quality and honesty. That's all that matters, and the contrast couldn't be clearer. But here's the uncomfortable bit: the system hasn't changed, and it likely never will, because that would mean admitting they've been misleading us for decades. Eurogamer's 5-star review is still up.
Yeah, but like it's not a conspiracy, it's just about like poor, like the fact that like people do not understand or fucking like people working in this industry need paychecks, right? Need to be paid, right? And they're happy to, like, they're not like these underground fucking like people like us that are able to fucking like live and die of like fucking pretty much nothing, right? And they got lucky as well. But at the same time, like, people tend to forget what the fuck is corporate. When you live in the corporate world, you do not get the same fucking choices, choices tree, right? It's same fucking choices in life if you do not, as if you do not work in corporate. Corporate is vile, but it is stable. And like may it be like AAA, like big studios, like industry leaders, or like I prefer to call it corporate. Basically, like these people, it's not like they're misleading or not. It's just like corporate can run this type of like this type of like agenda for however long you need, however long you want, and the people in it, well, they fucking like do as people wishes. And usually it's actually like, it's not even like, because like it's basically it's what's going on when in the gaming journalism industry. It's called lobbying. You don't believe me? It's just people who pay for their own promotion and they fucking do lobbying. And it's not that bad. Like, it's just that like from there, it's basically like they sponsor themselves and it works, and they get like they pay the big platforms. They will not admit it, but it's pretty much lobbying. Right? You can see like if you understand where the money comes from and what it just said, right? Like, lobbying is the reason why you do not like your gaming journalist, but lobbying is what preserves your gaming journalists from like a paycheck that is not a stable paycheck. So is this bad? We do live in a society, yeah? We do live in a society that's corrupted. So I guess.
And that
maybe I'm wrong, you know? Like, don't take my word for that. Like, maybe I'm completely wrong.
won't change. The Grammys still gave nominations to games nobody's talking about. Nothing's different on their end. What's different is us. We've stopped believing them, and slowly that's starting to matter more than an 8 out of 10 IGN review score ever did. Eurogamer's reviewer backtracking is something, I suppose. At least he's honest about getting it wrong. That's more than most will ever admit. But the score is still up, the review's still misleading people, and Eurogamer's policy means it will stay that way forever. So what's that honesty really worth? Precisely zero. The system still rewards being a good boy. The awards still reward their industry friends. Critics still chase access over honesty.
Yeah, this is exactly what I'm talking about. Like, it's fine. Let the fucking like people that fucking like
still chase sponsors. We can't fix that.
Who cares about like a fucking Grammy nomination or like or like a fucking like a medal in a world? But it's like, you know, like Claire Obscure, like what he said. pretty sure that like these people do not give a fuck after like the fucking like surprise they got of being like so successful with the game. Like one Grammy, one less fucking like medal to add after the whole the fucking surprise that they did to the gaming industry and the fucking like well how gamers reacted. Like I'm pretty sure that even them they don't really care about like what happened, you know. Like just so you know, I'm pretty sure that these people they do not really fucking cry too much about it as well. You know, even the people that are concerned.
But we can stop listening to it. Stop clicking their day one reviews. Stop reading their AI generated tip guides. Stop watching award ceremonies that nominate Star Wars Outlaws and ignore the games people actually loved. They don't deserve your attention. They don't represent us.
Yeah, it is true, but at the same time, accessibility will always prevail over. Do you know how much like I'm knowledgeable about video games? Probably more knowledgeable than you, right? Do you know how much knowledgeable I am about like the video game industry? Probably more knowledgeable than you. Do you know how accessible it is to find me and to actually like me and to actually like because I have a non-standardized platform and like basically like I have like problem like saying fuck and the fact that like I'm a fucking simp to fucking waifus, right? Do you understand like accessibility is actually like the reason why some people do not actually like get do get the fucking like will choose gaming journalism over people like me or even like people more standardized, right? Like that are within like social norms and that are more ordinary than like some of the, but like at the same time like people like Charlie, like Penguin Zoo or like Asmongold get to have a voice. Like it's complicated, but like basically like people will always choose choose the fucking like politically correct type of like reviewing type of platform over the non-politically correct because not everyone is a fucking degenerate, and this is kind of like, yeah, they don't represent, yeah, but like at the same time, like, god fucking damn it, like some people that do not live in this like fucking like dark world where it's like some people just fucking like take the pill that like accept the answer that like accept the fucking like platform that like is promoted and they go on with their lives. You get me? Like I feel like I'm not I feel like I'm getting mad for nothing, but like I think like there's like a double like idea about like the stuff where it's like I agree but like I disagree, and at the same time it's like what gives a fuck anyway, but like I get them a review. Like you go on Steam and you know if it's under 4 star, 4 stars, no one fucking buy it. If it's under like 4 stars, like usually the fucking game is a flop and everyone knows it, right?
They've spent years proving they don't care. Support the developers who are honest with you, the ones who deliver what they promise, the independent voices who don't need access or awards to tell you the truth. People like me, hit subscribe. It's up to us to decide what's real and what's just smoke and mirrors designed to keep share prices as high as possible. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. Appreciate you. If you enjoyed the video, drop a like, a comment, and
I think that like thank you so much Veteran Joystick for like the video. I think that like this person is actually like just protective of people that are like consuming this media, and I respect his point of view for that. I think that like is not completely right about everything, but I think that like the idea where like the reason why he is actually offended and actually the reason why he is actually mad about like what's going on is a good reason. So for that I'll respect it, and I think that like this was like something that like actually is useful and actually like promotes makes a platform that we all that we like better, just because of like the reasons of why he did this, right? I'll take a small break. I'll be right back. I'm back. Let me just check if... Okay, everything's working out. AI generated content is something that is slowly like taking over, like at least in my life. I want to check it out. So Elden Ring Night Rain animated series opening. I really like this type of content. It's so cool. This is actually not generated AI generated content, just because like it's expressive, it has its own style, and it's kind of like its own chibi. Like it's really cool. It's even like cooler. Like someone actually like thought about like an anime opening. From Software. Yeah, Kid Grace. From Software had nothing to do with this. Like this is actually awesome. Like what I could do. Yeah, just wanted to check this out. Thank you, Keith Grace, for like the small content that like it's just awesome. Okay, 68-bit Elden Ring demake, demake. Oh yeah, demake for SNES. This is actually cool. Wow. Wow. Whoa. No fucking way. Oh my fucking god. Oh my fucking god. This is beyond ultra cool. This is like no fucking wow. Wow. I'll give him a sub. I'll give him a sub. Thank you, 64 bits. What the fuck? This is... Make this game. Make this game. Oh my god. What the fuck? This is so fucking dope. This is so fucking dope. Like, look at this. Like, what the... How dare you fucking make something so cool and us being... No way. It's so well rendered. It's so well done. Oh my god. This is... probably took so much time to fucking like to fucking like to fucking do this. What the fuck? This is so dope. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. All right. Okay, I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. I'll just check if everything is working out the way it should, and we're gonna we'll keep going. We'll keep going. Get them. Like, reacting has been tiring. Like, watching YouTube has been tiring. Okay, so this works. Let's get into, like, I like to actually like take the time to actually like check out the random like life advice that like I get on my feed, right? The algorithm tells me stuff and I'm like, you know what, why the fuck, what the fuck not, why not, right? So this is like an interesting video, how to forgive yourself.
Great.
So I'll just check out real fast.
Things you want to know how.
Okay. This video is from a medicine doctor, I think, like, how to forgive yourself. Let's check it out. Let's just check it out. Like, it's been on my feed, so why not? Why not give it a try? Like, maybe I'll learn something. Maybe you will learn something. Maybe I will learn nothing. Like, everyone has like things that like they're not proud of, so yeah.
How to forgive yourself, you got to forgive others. It's as simple. Greetings. You want to know how to forgive yourself? You got to forgive others. It's as simple as that. You can chant, you can affirm, you can tell yourself, okay, I let go of all the horrible things I've done. I forgive myself for the resentments I held towards others. I forgive myself for all the bad things I did to others. I love myself. I forgive myself. I free myself from the burden of guilt and shame from past transgressions. You can do that all you want. And that can be very helpful, yes, but really, Bottom line, everything is a projection. So when we see crap in other people, no matter what they're doing, if we don't like it, if we judge it as harsh or cruel or wrong or bad, we are judging ourselves. We are condemning ourselves because it's all a projection of the deeply embedded guilt, shame, and self-loathing inside of ourselves.
Okay, so this is interesting because I actually said in the past that like you should never actually say that you hate something when it comes to like, well, you can hate like some other things, but when it comes to, let's say, content or like art, let's say content or like art, right? It's a weird thing, but like when you reframe the I hate this type of artist, I hate this type of content creator, I hate this type of person, to this is not my style of type, this is not my style, right? Well, it actually like really make it so it actually makes so like your life is easier. So what he says has some meaning to me.
So you want to get rid of all this self-loathing. You've got to forgive your projections. So you go around and you look at other people and everything they're doing, good, bad, and ugly, and you find a way to forgive them, to give them the benefit of the doubt, to appreciate what they've gone through in their lives to get to this place where they did what they did. You forgive everyone unconditionally without exception. The more you do this, the more you send a message to your subconscious mind that you are worthy and good enough and deserving of happiness and success and inner peace. And
I think that like it's I disagree with this because like I think that like the point that, like the what he proposed as a solution is actually valuable, but at the same time I think that like in a certain way when you forgive others you actually spend less time thinking about like something else than you, and it offers you an opportunity to actually be closer to yourself and to actually like do the work of well, actually like being able to actually go through a healing process, right? And like it's, I think that like unconditional forgiveness and unconditional like unconditional love and unconditional, I think that like it is something a little bit too much, because like some people, I think that ignorance is enough, you know, because like forgiving people and understanding like understanding that they went through like difficult times, it is fine in a way, but in another way, like you gaslighting yourself is also like really fucking bad for your health, and telling yourself that like, oh yeah, everyone has a fucking reason, you know. As someone who like knows like people that fucking got bullied and someone who got bullied, right? It's like, try to fucking give a reason to kids like me, right? About like fucking like everyone has a fucking reason to do that, and no. I think that like, but the process is actually like legitimate, where I think that like overall like it's by just ignoring these people and just moving on that like you offer yourself the opportunity to move on.
it will happen. Your mind, your subconscious will be convinced by right actions, by generous actions, by being of service to others, by forgiving others. The subconscious mind will get it, and then it will create the peace that you want in your mind. You will be free of all the debris of past resentments, bitterness, fears, guilt, shame, etc. You will be in the now, able to enjoy the now with all that emotional baggage gone. So that's all you got to do every day, and in every way try to see the best in other people, try to forgive them, for they know not what they do. And you will find inner peace and joy, and guess what, greater prosperity, greater opportunities, greater happiness across the board.
Okay, so I think that like there is like when it comes to, there is, it functions for like some people, right? But actually mm, I think that like you gotta understand that like there is also like the part of moving on. The part of moving on is also really, really important, and the part of ignorance. Because like, let's be fucking honest. Some people, like me for example, are really despicable in every way they live, exist, and fulfill their own destiny, all right? And you cannot just offer them forgiveness. You just cannot. And because of that, I think that like to these people, ignorance is what you can choose. You cannot, I cannot see myself like for being become like a full-on hippie, because like this actually like creates like another trauma that is like just accepting the fact that like some people treat you badly, and it is acceptable because, you know, there are no. You need to be able to stand up for yourself, and you need to be able to actually like do something about yourself, you know? But I think that like he doesn't like take into account these type of people, and I think that like overall, when it comes to other people, yes, obviously forgive everyone, forgive your friends, forgive your all your ways, and allow yourself to accept that like you're an idiot surrounded by the idiots you love and that loves you, and by doing that your life will be easier. All right. Let me just okay. Oh my fucking. Okay. Yeah. The Unreleased Secrets of Vanilla WoW episode 4. So far a lot of like things like I discovered about like Vanilla WoW. This series is really thank you Matt Season Show for taking the time for and doing this work. Like this is such a cool series. Thank you so much. Let's check it out.
Hey guys, what's up? Mad Season here, back with another video for you. Though Vanilla World of Warcraft was a huge game on its release in 2004, it was only a fraction of the size it was envisioned to be, and we've been on a streak of discussing features and areas and philosophies that ended up on the cutting room floor, and today here we're going to do the same. The focus of this video will be on the long-lost Alpha 0.5.3 client, which was the very first version of the game made playable to people outside of Blizzard headquarters. I want to give a special thanks to Grender and the Alpha Team project for making this possible by using their mad coding skills, which you too may learn from the premier code teaching website, boot.dev. Boot.dev is a platform for anyone looking to master back-end development, and unlike my voice, it's built to make sure that you never get bored by taking cues from game design to keep you engaged and pushing towards a career in back-end development. You'll find courses here that teach you back-end web development using Python and Go, right from the basics to the more advanced concepts. The lessons are designed such that you're not just passively learning, you're actually coding, which is the best way to learn. And their mission is to make learning to code as engaging as possible. One of the reasons why I'm working with them is that their platform makes you feel like you're playing an RPG, which I'm sure will resonate with a lot of you considering that you're most likely addicted to World of Warcraft. It has levels to complete and achievements to unlock, and because it's self-paced, you can learn at your own speed. And if you hit a snag, don't worry, they have an AI to help, and they don't just give you the answers, but rather asking guided questions to help you understand concepts. They offer a 30-day, no questions asked refund policy, and a free demo for every course. So if it interests you, you can try it risk-free and see if it's the right fit for you. Click the link in the description and use my code to get 25% off your first payment, which is 25% off either your first month or your first year, depending on which plan you choose. Anyways, first up we have a feature. In vanilla, anybody who's at all familiar with the Hunter class knows that the different pet species in the game hold different unique abilities. The spiders can root people in place, the bird has an AoE threat generator, the wolf provides a melee attack power buff for party members, and beyond all of this, they also come with unique stats. And with the loyalty and training systems, they're arguably one of the most complex classes in vanilla. Well, as it turns out, this system functioned very differently in the alpha. To train different species at first, you had to track down these specialized trainers spread throughout the world that would give you the ability to tame them, as well as learn unique abilities such as for the spider, you can get a poison dot, the web which you know, and...
Oh my fucking god, imagine, like, walking around. Good thing that, like, they removed this one, because, like, oh my, it was already, like, a cool, complicated mess, right? But, like, at this, okay, this will have ruined it.
Arranged poison spit. As for the tall striders, they were more supportive, putting a debuff that increases damage taken, or healing a friendly target, or increasing regeneration rate. In general, they were much more unique than what they eventually landed on. How it worked was you learned the ability to train it from these trainers, and similar to the beast training skill in 1.0, the hunter would teach it to the pet once they reached the appropriate level. Although at this point there were no pet skill points that she had to allocate. But that's not the only difference. The class saw many changes throughout its development. Some of you may know that along with rogues, they could actually use bucklers. In the alpha, there were two shield types, shields and bucklers, where the latter was a more lightweight version having less armor and block, giving these two classes a more defensive feel. Auto shot wasn't in, meaning that you had to
Okay, this is actually could have been cool to keep. Bucklers and shields. Because, like, technically, like a shaman, right? Where's bucklers? But at the same time, for transmog reasons and everything else, you know what? Good thing that, like, they did it, because, like, or else, like, it will have been, like, such a mess.
Manually shoot every single time, and the cast speed would match that of your ranged weapon. Many remember focus as a cataclysm change, but it was indeed the first resource for hunters in this alpha. It would build slowly over time, and your abilities would consume it, and...
Wait, focus wasn't fucking vanilla? God damn.
As for the abilities themselves, they're all quite different as well. Beast Call was a taunt that only worked on beasts, so maybe there was some sort of tanking capability planned for hunters at some point. As for Charm Beast, this would tame a beast for only 1 minute. Soothe Beast was a crowd control. True Shot wasn't an aura, It was an attack instead, costing 2 focus and adding some damage, and an additional 1 second cast time. Blinding Shot reduced your chance to hit, Fire Shot did some elemental fire damage, Quick Shot added 5 damage to a shot with a 1 minute cooldown, and Silencing Shot, which eventually turned up in the Burning Crusade, silenced the target for an insane 8 seconds, if you can actually believe that. Explosive Shot, which we saw in Wrath eventually, was in the alpha as well. This also did some AoE damage, and Sniper Shot added a whopping 5-second cast time to your weapon for some heavy damage. Similar to Aimed Shot, Running Shot could be cast on the move. The closest thing we eventually got was Aspect of the Fox and Cataclysm, where you could use Steady Shot on the move. As for Frost Shot, this dealt some frost damage and also slowed your enemy, and Stalking was the early version of Hunter's Mark. Like with every class, there were no talents, as at this point it was the skill point system, so this, along with those pet abilities, was essentially their entire toolkit. There were no traps, there were no aspects, it was all quite bare bones, which makes sense because hunters were the last class that was added to the game for vanilla. Next, doing an area, the Scarlet Monastery is perhaps one of the most memorable dungeons in vanilla. It's split up into 4 wings, the graveyard, library, armory, and cathedral, and it's often the first thing that people think of when they think of vanilla dungeons. The bosses are memorable, the loot is really good, the XP is pretty decent, and
there are like sets, and like it's really like, yeah, like Scarlet Monastery is like the you will never forget about this one when you play.
And the lore's interesting, but this was all the result of a lot of hard work and a huge makeover, as in the alpha, it was all one big dungeon with just one entrance at the bottom of the stairs leading into the monastery, which...
Oh, this would have been like so much worse. This will have been so much worse. Good on them for choosing to do... Imagine like Stratholme like was already like such a fucking mess. Like
is even blocked off by a couple of gates, which possibly indicates that there may have been plans for an attunement or a key required to gain entry. So the first difference you'll notice is that the entrance to the library and graveyard are missing, and the cathedral and armory paths are actually the same hallway, so right away it's a very linear dungeon compared to the updated version. Turning the corner, we have the library. Over to the right is the Houndmaster and his hounds, but going through the next area, we find that it goes right instead of left, and right around the corner, we have the Wish.com version of Mad Season. Herod. Yeah, really. You do actually enter his room from the bottom floor here, right after the Houndmaster, which is pretty wild, and you probably noticed that he had a wardrobe change. I guess this is before he flexed off all of his armor. A little fun fact here is that this red-winged helmet that he's wearing was actually the original Lightbringer helmet model, and I remember this because my first 60 back in the day was a Paladin, and I thought it was so cool looking, but by the time I got it, they changed it to the McDonald's hat, which was pretty disappointing. Anyways, moving past him up the stairs that used to be the entrance to his room, the hallway leads left instead of right, and at the end of the hallway you can go left or right. Going left leads to the graveyard. You may recognize this as Interrogator Vicious's room, who switched tables, and as you can see, the Undead Quest Giver is also missing. And following through here, we have another long hallway, and where you would normally expect that big courtyard with a lot of undead wandering about, eventually leading to the Blood Mage Thalnos inside his crypt, you'll instead find a copy of that little square in library that held the Houndmaster.
Oh, that's the Blood Mage Thalnos. It's a fucking card in a Hearthstone. I actually never noticed. It was one of the best cards in Hearthstone. You draw a card for like 2 and you get like 1 spell power. Like if you played Hearthstone, this is the Blood Mage Thalnos. Whoa.
So his house got quite the upsize in the new version. But going back to the fork in the road and going right this time, we find the library, and where Thalnos had a smaller room, Doan doesn't even have a room at all. He's not in this version, and the next room is instead the final cathedral with Mulgrain and Whitemane. The main difference being is that there's some benches added, along with various other little changes, such as Mulgrain being gray-haired, and Whitemane, who is hatless.
Suspect is hatless. Repeat, hatless.
You can also find Inquisitor Fairbanks hanging out in his room, although they haven't installed the secret bookshelf yet. So in terms of square footage and mob density, it's much smaller than the 4-wing update that was eventually released. I think the 4-wing version was a big improvement, so kudos to the developers for that. But it is interesting to see all of these bosses right next to each other. sort of like an alternate reality Scarlet Monastery. Next we have Death, Resurrection, and XP, which all worked a little bit differently in this alpha. In the final version, as you know, when you died, you lost 10% equipped durability, and you'd spawn in ghost form to the nearest spirit healer, where you had the option of either running back to your corpse or rezzing at the spirit healer for a 10-minute debuff and an additional 25% durability hit to all of your gear in your bags, not just your equipped items. However, in the alpha, you would instead set your revive point to an NPC known as a binder, and if you ever died, no matter where you were, you would revive at this binder as well as lose some experience. As you may know, one of the game's selling points was that it was much more casual friendly compared to other games in the genre at the
Yeah, at the time, like, dying in an MMO was such a punishment. God damn, you would lose, like, XP, you could lose the levels, like, you know, like, the Iron Man challenge, pretty much, like, every MMO was trying to fucking, like, create, like, some experience of, like, some sort of, like, Iron Man challenge, you know? And now it's like, yeah.
So they would eventually do away with this XP loss and replace it with the fatigue system, where the more you adventured, the more you fatigued your character, reducing the amount of XP you gained. You could still rest by logging off in an inn or major city to recover it, which would eventually give you ×2 XP, and you had normal, which is ×1. But if you played too much, you would get fatigued, which would be half, and then exhausted was a quarter. This was all eventually done away with.
Yeah, because, like, let people play, like, oh my fucking god.
Because it just discouraged playing too much, and it forced grinding as players would just simply run out of quests. Since this was before players had widespread knowledge of the game and these advanced database websites, even without penalties, making it to 60 usually required some form of mob grinding or dungeon spam to some extent, so this was a little bit too punishing for what they were going for, and they eventually got rid of the penalties, but they did keep the ×2 rested bonus. And next, going over various locations and references that were removed. This is quite a popular one. The first is the Statue of Liberty in Stranglethorn Vale on Jaguaro Island, which was the spot where you did that Donkey Kong reference quest for Princess Muba. You can also find the Statue of Liberty, clearly unfinished because I don't particularly remember it being hot pink, but this is a reference to the movie The Planet of the Apes. Spoiler alert, but the story goes that a group of astronauts go on a space mission, and after an accident, they crash land on this planet filled with intelligent evolved apes who hunt down humans for sport and slavery. And at the end, the protagonist, Taylor, finds the half-buried Statue of Liberty, revealing that they had traveled into the future to this post-apocalyptic Earth after the world's superpowers blew it up. It was one of the many commentaries on the Cold War. In the last one, we did a little tour of Alpha Ironforge, which was wildly different, so I figured we'd do the same with Stormwind here, which holds some differences. Not as extreme, but there are some notable ones, such as first noticing that the lighting and the torches are a bit different. The bridge leading to the stockades is really steep for some reason, and there's now a river that covers that spot between the trade district and the mage quarter, making it harder to navigate. You can't jump in the water in this version of the game, which makes sense if you think about it, but it's also pretty annoying as you have to swim all the way to the little pier to get back up. They eventually changed it because people were falling in water in certain spots of the game and were getting themselves stuck with no way out. As it happens, this was also before Hearthstones were added into the game, so they would either have a GM get them out or essentially abandon their character. In the park, there's a GM get them out or
look at the fucking, like, main menu, like, how small it is compared to, like, this, like, to the nowadays version. Goddamn, even the vanilla version, like, it's so simple.
Abandon their character. In the park, there's a Tall Strider trainer for hunters, and in the Dwarven district, a Raptor trainer, and the entrance to the Deep Run tram is blocked off, like I mentioned in the last video. The auction house is missing, which was actually true for the 1.0 release as well. Initially, only Ironforge and Orgrimmar had auction houses, and they were later added to other cities, and they weren't even linked until a certain patch, meaning that the ones in Darnassus and Thunderbluff would be pretty barren of items most of the time. The bank in the trade district is much larger than the version we eventually got, and the portal in the Mage Tower is gone. I guess they needed to add a little more room for NPCs at some point. And in the keep, you'll find that Anixia, aka Lady Prestor, is replaced by Davil Prestor II. and Bolvar is cosplaying as Colonel Curzon from Stranglethorn. In Old Town, we see that the PvP hall is missing, with some rogue vendors who just kind of took up shop where it used to be, and the SI7 building isn't even there yet, holding just this open courtyard with Matthias Shaw just hanging out. The same is true for the Warrior building. Right now it's just this open area with a few trainers here and there. There's a bunch of other tiny, minor differences here and there that you can probably spot if you have a keen eye, but I think that about wraps up this episode. There's plenty more to show you in this alpha, I assure you. There's so many changes in these areas and balance and everything, and it's all really interesting, so I will for sure be returning to this at a later point. Thanks for watching. Like the video if you liked it, because I'll see you in the next one. Peace.
This was a great video. Thank you so much, Matt Season. Like, if you don't follow Matt Season, offer him like a sub. This man is like a legend. Right. Okay. Let's check out some. Okay, let's check out top 10 unkilled raid bosses in WoW. Like, let me just check out if my
killed. I mean, how long?
Okay. So, top 10 red bosses in WoW by Iramaredex. Follow the offer him a sub if you can. Like, this man is like doing God's work when it comes to like WoW history. Like, it's really cool. Let's check this out.
Now, when I say unkilled, I mean how long it took top guilds to down certain bosses from when they were first available. Like, say, for example, how long did it take top guilds to down Mythic Archimond after beating Mythic Manaroth? And not how long it took them to down Mythic Archimond since the first day of the opening of Hellfire Citadel. Instead, it's from when the first time they were actually able to start doing the fight. Now that that distinction is made, let's get started on the list. Number 10 is Heroic Alakir, which took 36 days to down after the first kill of Heroic Conclave of Wind. Heroic Alakir was way overtuned when it was first attempted and not fixed until after the world first kills were done. In the kill video for the first Paragon kill in 25-man, you can actually see them just straight up leave about 8 players out of the fight during phase 1, because it was actually easier to have less players in the fight for that phase. That goes to say something about how messed up the fight was if having less players made the fight easier. Number 9 is Heroic Lich King, 25-man. He wasn't downed until 42 days after Heroic Putricide's death. The Lich King suffered from Alakir problems of being overtuned and just generally a very difficult raid encounter. But that's understandable, seeing as he's one of Warcraft's most popular villains. Giving him anything less than a crazy hard raid fight would piss off a lot of fans. The first kill wasn't achieved until the ICC stack started rolling out, giving players an extra 5% damage and healing every couple of weeks until it hit 30%. It was even thought to be an impossible fight without the ICC buff, but one of the top guilds later turned off their buff and went in for a kill to prove it could be done. Way later on in the expansion when they had a lot of gear from the Lich King himself, I might add. Number 8, Alar, the Phoenix God, killed 48 days after Magtheridon's death. Despite being the first boss of Tempest Keep, he was the second hardest boss of the raid. Alar had a very hard to deal with meteor mechanic that was supposed to split damage with everyone in it, so the idea was to have a group of people soak it so it wouldn't wipe the raid. Only, it was overtuned and did a ton of damage, and made the fight near impossible, so Guild had to think of creative ways to deal with the meteors, like having everyone in the raid level a Warlock to level 18 to learn Soulstone, and have half the raid get out of the raid Soulstones just to go out and die to the meteor and res. This was technically cheating, but Blizzard never really did anything about it, other than nerfing Soulstone every chance it got to try and prevent this tactic. Another way of splitting the damage was to use Snake Trap to split the meteor damage with all the low health snakes. Harder to do, but technically not cheating like the Soulstone method. Oh, and Alar would also randomly charge Clothies and one-shot them. That also contributed to his long time of being unkilled. Number 7, the Four Horsemen and Vanilla Nax. They lasted 56 days after Gothic's death. The original Four Horsemen are one of the hardest fights ever put in the game, mainly because it had a very unique mechanic. You see, in order to do the Four Horsemen, you needed 8 tanks. And not only did you need 8 tanks, you needed 8 warrior tanks with a specific 4-set bonus that made it so your taunt couldn't miss. Because in those days, taunt could miss, and 1 missed taunt meant a wipe on 4 horsemen.
Yeah, imagine missing spells like this. God damn.
So the reason this fight took so long to down was basically just having to gear up 8 warrior tanks with 8 4-set bonuses.
Okay, let me bet that like we'll see more of Nextramus Vanilla WoW in this top 10. My guess is also Khotun. Obviously Khotun, mathematically impossible it was said, and some Ulduar.
Do literally 1 boss. Want to know how many other bosses besides 4 horsemen used 8 tanks? 0. Number 6, High Astromancer Solarian, killed 59 days after Magtheridon. Another Tempest Keep boss. This boss went through 3 nerfs because it was considered too hard to kill. That, combined with most guilds working on Alar in the same instance instead of High Astromancer, leads to her long unkilled time. Her first iteration had her being a high health boss with a front arc arcane missile attack that ignored arcane resistance. Its second form, after Blizzard decided that was crazy hard to beat, was a nerf to her health and arcane missiles that hit the entire raid instead of an arc cone, which still ignored arcane resistance. Top guilds were finally able to get a kill at this version, but it was considered still too hard. It was later nerfed 2 more times to be what it is today. Number 5, Yogg Saron, Alone in the Darkness, killed 70 days after Yogg won Light in the Darkness. This version of the Yogg fight with no keepers was long thought to be mathematically impossible to do, until the Chinese
Right.
These guild stars was able to do the fight with some really smart kiting patterns to the ads that spawn in the last phase. Plus, Warlocks being able to channel the boss without having to actually face it. There was one other kill before stars got their legit kill, where the raid just exploited the encounter by evading the ads in the last phase by getting healing aggro on them from inside Yogg's brain room, but that one didn't count for obvious reasons. Number 4, Ragnaros. Killed 74 days.
I'm actually surprised that Ragnaros was actually so challenging. During my vanilla days, I actually downed Ragnaros once, I remember, but I was a fucking children, alright? Like, doing raiding, I don't even know how the fuck I managed to do raiding that.
After Major Domo.
I finished like Zolo Gurub and yeah, Molten Core.
Death. Ragnaros was one of the first final bosses ever, and everyone was still pretty new to raiding, so his long kill time shouldn't be all that surprising really. It was simply a much tougher and long as hell fight compared to everything else in Molten Core. Number 3, Chromagus, tied with Ragnaros at 74 days after Ebonrock's death. Chromagus was one of the more technically challenging fights in vanilla, when not many fights besides maybe final bosses of the raid were. It was also in the same raid where 2 of the hardest boss fights ever were the first and second boss of the instance, causing many guilds to break up before even getting to Chromagus. As for the fight itself, well, it was just a very complicated fight. We have many like it today, but it was a new thing for vanilla raiders, so it took them some time to get used to the mechanics. Once they did though, it became a lot easier to do on attempts afterwards. There wasn't really any bugs or overtuning mistakes that half the other bosses on this list have. Chromagus was just a technically challenging fight. Number 2, Cthulhu, killed 86 days after the Twin Emperor's first death. Cthulhu is considered by most WoW players as the hardest boss fight ever made. I don't personally agree with that. Cthulhu was just horribly overtuned and bugged. The first kill didn't happen until after Blizzard nerfed the fight, because it was technically impossible to do, even with all the best gear in the game and if every player did their job perfectly. So why is Cthulhu only the second longest unkilled boss? If he was unkillable? Well, because there was another boss in the same instance that was also pretty much unkillable and way less sought after. The number 1 unkilled boss is Oro, who was killed 87 days after the Twin Emperor's defeat, and 1 day after Cthulhu. You see, the thing with Oro was that he was overtuned and bugged, plus an optional boss, so no one really bothered with it and worked on Cthulhu instead. His biggest bug was his Sandblast ability, which hit everyone in front of him for enough damage to take about 90% of a geared caster's health, and also stunned everyone for a couple of seconds. He would then turn to his next highest aggro target and do it again. The idea behind this mechanic was to create a small safe zone for the raid while only 2 tanks got hit. What instead happened was he would cast Sandblast 4 times before the first stun wore off, not 2. Meaning there were no safe zones. Everyone got hit and stunned if they didn't die from the ability damage itself. To top it off, his Quake ability was overtuned and did more damage than it should have. He stayed underground longer than he was above ground. His ads that spawned during this phase were also overtuned, and sometimes he just wouldn't come back up after going underground, spawning ads endlessly. All in all, pretty nasty fight. There's a reason people avoided it before Blizzard finally fixed it.
Okay, this was awesome. Thank you so much, Irmaredex, for the video. Okay, let's watch some honest trailers. I like let's watch some honest trailers, shall we? The World of Warcraft movie.
Based on the popular real-time strategy games. Story.
You want to build the town into a farming center of no less than 6 farms.
Comes the film that changed the world's expectations of video game movies. From crappy-looking low-budget messes to gorgeous-looking high-budget messes. Baby steps, you guys. We'll get a good one someday. Warcraft. Journey to the land of Azeroth, where the kingdom of Stormwind is beset by orcs from the planet Draenor. All but the Frostwolf clan, led by the mighty Duratan, have come under the influence of Gul'dan and his dark fell magic.
I feel that like they could have chosen like many other stories within the WoW lore, but like it shows like trial and stuff, and it's just like, I mean, yeah, but like, goddamn, like you could have chosen like something else, right?
It's up to a small band of humans who already know the game's storyline to understand whatever it was I just said.
What?
Begin your quest through the world's most expensive, unskippable cutscene and immerse yourself in the world of the orcs, from their giant teeth to their delicate tooth piercings to their toothy armor to the teeth they strap in their baby baskets to the teeth they yank out as souvenirs to the prosthetic teeth this actress can barely speak through.
Let your warriors honor their tradition.
Wait, what'd you say? Marvel at these artificial characters' ability to convey emotion and these human actors' inability to do the same as you spend half the movie with these boring-ass people. Lothar, the mighty warrior who gets winded walking up the stairs. King Monotone, the board.
I am King Lane.
Go Toslane.
I'm told you wish to talk.
Medivh, the mage who always has to unwind after a long day of magic with a nice hot bath. Gamara, the half-orc with a birth.
Oh my fucking god. This is even more awful.
Birth effect of being kinda hot. And, aw, why'd they have to drag Glenn Close into this? Together, they'll engage in a tangle of plot lines about fatherhood, acceptance, and the corruption of power that will have you saying, can we just go back to the orcs, please? I'm bored. Stare in awe at this overly ambitious fantasy film, where both sides have their own heroes and villains. That ends up feeling like a season of Game of Thrones crammed into 2 hours, with 6 different main characters, performing 5 different betrayals on each other.
The Guardian has betrayed us.
And where is the honor in him betraying his own people?
Gul'dan is the betrayer.
You should have trusted in your chieftain.
All leading up to a climax that resolves absolutely nothing. Maybe they'll put a real ending in the expansion pack? So if you love the Warcraft games for their plot,
don't fucking watch the movie if you love the fucking, like, it's so amazing how disappointing like it was. Like, it wasn't like completely like something that like, it's just like unremarkable. That it's such an unremarkable fucking movie. God fucking damn.
but hate the sense of humor that made them so endearing.
Me no sound like Yoda, do I?
Or if you just love to watch a bunch of dudes look at a map.
Supply line's here. Show me where you come from.
Horses getting wrecked. And magic guys covered in swirly stuff. Then according to the box office, you're probably Chinese. Starring, the main orc dude, his friend, the little mage guy. Look, I'm at a loss here. Can we get a real Warcraft fan to pinch hit for me?
Say no more, my epic mount.
Wait, what'd you just call me?
Thanks so much.
That's Randuin Lothar, Lion of Azeroth and wielder of the great sword Kel'Zaram. Gul'dan of the Storm Reaper.
Oh, I said Anduin. Oh, okay.
Master of the Shadow Council and Warlock of the...
These don't have to be so long, do they?
Faithfully reproduce Stormwind with appropriate district roof colors and Griffin flight path.
Is that supposed to be important?
And if you look really closely, you can see Harvest Golems, aka the battle pet Tiny Harvester, of course.
Was that even English?
And the Murlocs of Elwyn Forest, making the iconic sounds we all fondly remember from our earliest days in WoW.
Nerd.
Yeah, it will be great to like see all the stuff that like he's talking about. Exactly, like this is the stuff that you don't see, and basically like you're stuck in between humans and orcs, and it's like even a fucking like night elf or a night elf like storyline would have been more interesting, because like God damn, it's humans and orcs. It's the most generic fucking like fantasy races that like we've ever seen, right? Warcraft, not Warcraft. It's generic as fuck.
Noob. Dawn of the Planet of the Orcs. I can't wait for the League of Legends movie to come out 6 years too late, too.
Hi, honest trailer fans. It's me, Doug.
Nah, thanks so much for like the honest trailer. Okay. Okay.
The following trailer is rated H.
On this trailer, World of Warcraft. Let's check this out.
For honest. From the company who never met a game they couldn't postpone comes a more effective form of teenage abstinence than acne, sex ed, and the Catholic Church combined. World of Warcraft. Get hooked on the MMO that revolutionized the way people thought about EverQuest in this global phenomenon that featured 12.5 million users at its peak and about half that number in gold farming Chinese sweatshop workers. Dive right.
True, I never understood where the fuck they came. I guess like no one understood where the fuck like the Chinese gold farmers came from, where they went, who they were, but like they were always there for some reason, and no one was able to stop them.
Right into the core game that's free to play for the first 20 levels, then piles on the cost with monthly fees, constant expansions, and a lifetime of lost opportunities in the real world. But you know, I'm not addicted. I've only been playing for like... Oh no. Enter the land of Azeroth, a world so vast you could microwave 1,000 Hot Pockets before you'd seen it all, and take the time to soak in its majestic beauty after you fired up your DPS chart, raid list, macros, and thread meter, of course. Join the Great War that pits two massive factions against each other. The Alliance, a collection of generic fantasy tropes who protect the realm with the power of friendship. And the Horde, a collection of generic heavy metal tropes who savage the realm with the power of adulthood. Choose from 11 unique character classes, each with 1 or 2 optimal rotations that will be the only thing you ever do as you grind your way from level 1 all the way to level 60. I mean 70. Okay, 80, 90, 100? How the f am I supposed to do that? Oh, there you go. Never mind. Finally, once you've put in the time to make it to the top, enjoy a whole new world of endgame content.
Yeah, it's like it's really funny how like MMOs like World of Warcraft like got normalized, but it's like back in the day it's like you finally got to max level, yeah, so most of the game, no, this is just the beginning of the game, and this was awesome, but at the same time it's like it's such a logic that is like not really like following other logics. Like I understand myself, maybe like I get myself.
Like epic raids that require more cooperating nerds than the space program, rideable status symbols that let you rub your awesomeness in the face of the poor, purple stuff that's outdated as soon as they release the expansion, and trolling. Lots and lots of trolling.
Leroy
Jenkins.
So leave your boring school or day job behind for a game that requires as much effort to master as school or day job. In this fully immersive
Pretty
world
much.
with its own unique culture and history, like that time a girl sold her body for an epic mount, or the time Blizzard paid Mr. T to pretend he could use a computer.
Well, maybe Mr. T hacked the game and created a Mohawk class. Maybe Mr. T is pretty handy with computers.
Or that time everyone got AIDS. And join the world's most massive online community that may be responsible for countless breakups, divorces, and dead kids, but is also responsible for countless friendships, marriages, and cybersex with female night elves who turn out to be 12-year-old boys. Starring Na'vis, Gimlis, Rastafarians, Pandaren to Chinese audiences, Time Bandits, Mutant League Football, cosplay elves, that time of the month elves, and what you look like after 10 years of WoW, Real World, or Warcraft. This is what Warcraft looked like in the 90s, kids. Zug Zug, am I right?
Zug Zug. Oh my. This was awesome. All right, let's check out classic. Well, on this trailer, World of Warcraft Classic. Let's check this out.
In an era where the MMO genre is on its last legs, regress back to a simpler time by paying $15 a month to play a 15-year-old video game. World of Warcraft Classic. Rediscover the game that changed a genre from a playground of innovation and new concepts to a factory line of games trying to be the next WoW killer by copying it and tweaking like one thing.
This is so true. This is so true. The WoW killers. Do you remember the WoW killers? There wasn't any. There wasn't any. There was just Final Fantasy that became like part of like... WoW never died. It's still ongoing.
While WoW itself just piled on expansions like a video game shantytown, becoming a bloated mess that feels more like a theme park than ever. Shedding the simple charms of the original for achievements, passive pet Pokemon, and other weird time sinks. In a design cluster that makes it clear why they said, you know what, screw it, let's just put out old WoW again. And you know what? It works. We're all a bunch of massive rubes. Explore the wilds of Azeroth for the first time, again. As you revisit your favorite locations from the pre-Cataclysm world map. Then close the window and reinstall all the mods to make the game remotely playable again. And sigh deeply as you remember how long you will actually be grinding in these zones. Or the literal 20 minutes you have to run to get your character's flight path set up. In a molasses slow leveling process that you probably had a lot more time for 15 years ago. Holy shit, I've been
Oh my fucking god, this is so true.
level 11 for like 3 hours. I'm pretty sure this is what dying feels like. Feel the cockles of your heart warm with tender memories as you relive all the charming inconveniences of classic WoW. Like dead zones, where you run out of quests and just have to grind. Wacky itemization like cloth with strength on it. Entire specs being totally worthless by the end game. And probably the biggest and most controversial difference, no dungeon finder. Leading you to spend a lot more time begging for a tank or healer in general chat. Until you just roll one yourself and discover what it feels like for someone to actually want you around. At least until you wipe and get all the blame for your troubles. The most classic part of Classic WoW? Spending 4 hours to not finish Wailing Caverns. Climb your way up the difficulty curve and summit the leveling mountain as you prepare to enter the fabled endgame of WoW Classic. Most of which involves more preparing. Where you gather resistance gear and stack up mats for potions. Then spend hours coordinating massive, unwieldy raids full of 30 to 40-somethings with responsibilities. All so you can see content that a retail WoW character can solo with auto attacks. Until you run out of that stuff and then, I guess you just compare Thunder Furies with each other? Seriously, what is the plan for this? Do they put out Burning Crusade at some point? What are we even doing here? So dust off that keyboard and get ready to ruin your life all over again as you desperately try to recapture some fragment of the happiness that you felt back in 2006 when this game was new. But instead, drive home just how much closer to the grave you are now.
At least I got to see Orgrimmar one last time. No one remember me.
Starring the guy who feels compelled to buff everyone he sees. The guy spending 2 hours trying to sell a single green in trade chat. The tank that spends the entire dungeon berating the group. The healer that literally never says a word.
Oh,
Your buddy
yes.
who convinced you to play a 700-year-old MMO.
Yes.
The racists in the Barons chat. And the sinking feeling that you're going to play 4,000 hours of this again. Wow, you're old. You know the best thing about getting the old world back? All of the little out-of-bounds dioramas on the flight paths. Look at those little guys. Tell us what you'd like to hear in my...
This was awesome. This was awesome. Okay, World of Warcraft, the Burning Crusade Classic. Let's check this out.
In the advent of a new era where Blizzard figured out what a private server was, get ready to be hit by laser-focused blasts of nostalgia, and then pony up a monthly subscription to do the same rep grinds you already did 13 years ago, all because you think this was when games were good. World of Warcraft, the Burning Crusade. Classic? Leave behind the dusty zones of Azeroth, or I guess it's more like space, but you can breathe there? A mystical world beyond the Dark Portal, where physics apply very loosely, and where you'll immediately toss all your hard-earned armor and weaponry in the trash for a much more powerful clown suit composed of whatever garbage the NPCs had in their pockets that you'll flaunt with shame as you boldly quest across the land, killing 10 of a thing and picking up 8 of another in that classic WoW theme park gameplay.
This is exactly the fucking loop that like everyone likes, and then you fucking like and then you need to pick up one item and kill one mini boss, and then you go back to town with all your validated quests, and you just keep on going.
Where despite the whole flying thing, it still feels like just having more stick for the carrot, and the fact that everyone playing at this time is at least 30. So you can farm epic loot with people that will listen to you about your burgeoning health problems. Sorry guys, AFK, I'll be RB. My IBS is flaring up again. It's everywhere. Grind your way through Burning Crusade's shortened leveling curve as you breeze through the many exotic locales of Outland, such as the bleak red hellscape, Sonic the Hedgehog, the mountain, the bleak black hellscape,
the bleak black hellscape
with adjacent hellscape, and this mostly generic valley, except there's some floating shit. All of which you'll level past before you finish half the quests, unless you've read a Wowhead guide and you're saving them all for later, because you understand the nightmare grind for reputation that lies before you in the endgame, where the entire game basically turns into the relationship system from Stardew Valley. Wait, so let me get this straight. You'll say you'll like me if I get you 185 of these? And I get a shiny hat? Well then, let me get home from my real-life job to grind in this fantasy job. It's like capitalism I keep paying for. To play. For fun. Wait, even this joke feels familiar. Discover the many treadmills that lay beyond the level cap as you run endless dungeons for rep and 3% chances at a nicer pair of pants. Grind your face against heroics for badges. Run long attunement chains. and even join guilds. Ugh. Also, you can participate in the nerd version of an adult sports league, just for the chance to even step foot in an in-game raid, where you'll schedule off weekly time to neglect your family, and jump in a Discord with 10 to 25 other slightly drunk dads to try and fail to implement strategies that have been known for over a decade, and spend another 8 minutes running back because Steve moved in the flame wreath again, with the end goal of getting your character's numbers so high that you don't have anything worthwhile to do anymore, until Blizzard deigns to release the patches they already have ready because this game is 13 years old. Well, I've got best in slot. I've done it all. Time to play less WoW. Just kidding, I have 14 alts. So rediscover the version of World of Warcraft you love the best, and its negative consequences for your health, social life, and mental well-being again. Or if they haven't gotten to the one you like yet, hang on, because now that they figured out how to split them off, they're definitely going to release every single expansion. You know what I really can't wait for is 2026, when we get World of Warcraft Classic.
Oh my fucking god, this is so true.
The couple that only ever plays together. The healer that only says lol. The actual tank that gets away with it because he's extremely geared. The raid leader who sounds like the world's most exhausted man.
Yes.
Get that first off of him.
The guys.
Oh my fucking god, the raid leader that sounds like he's about to fucking like just like fall asleep, die, or have a fucking seizure and he's on his last breath. I fucking knew this guy. They were the nicest, but like, what the fuck?
Still telling Chuck Norris jokes and looking for group in 2021. The guy who is literally always playing. How is he even doing this? The boosty who doesn't know anything about their class. The guy who leveled from 1 and still doesn't know anything about their class. The vague nagging sense that you're getting too old for this shit. And being the only people left while everyone else migrates to Final Fantasy XIV to become catboys. World of Warcraft. Are we really doing this again? Sure, it's all fun and games, until you type /played and instantly start your midlife crisis. Tell us what you'd like to hear. And
Yes. This was true. This is, oh my. Okay, well, Wrath of the Lich King, honest trailer. Let's check it out.
from a company that used to be one of the most trusted names in gaming, that now is eating up its own legacy faster than a fat kid with a cake, comes a re-release of the most highly regarded expansions to World of Warcraft, hot off the presses and ready to screw up all your fond memories of playing it 14 years ago, which might as well be the Blizzard Company motto at this point. World of Warcraft, Wrath of the Lich King. Log in to the wilds of frozen Northrend, a new continent they just plopped onto the top of the old world map, where you'll ride around on mammoths, make friends with walrus men, ice giants, 400 dragons, and even uglier murlocs as you dress up like a
Oh, come on. Murlocs are awesome.
with an FF-sized weapon, and wallow in Warcraft 3 nostalgia as you visit all the places where Arthas made bad decisions that led him to becoming the edgiest lord in the land. Then taking the sights with new zones like Icy Plains, Icy Beaches, Icy Mountains, Icy Castles, Troll Place, but spooky, Ungoro Crater 2, and Skyrim, while it slowly dawns on you that you have another 10 levels to grind out that are all like 2 million XP. as you return back to the usual WoW business of killing 15 of a thing and picking up 8 of another in a shiny new coat of paint slapped on a game design that 90% of players merely tolerate to get to the end game. And if you're lucky enough to be on a big server, you might just get to wait in an 8-hour queue for it.
Oh my fucking
Discover
god.
your inner darkness as you roll up WoW's first brand new class since launch, the Death Knight. A spooky paladin with more teenage angst than you can shake a Frostmourne at, who joined up to fight with the Horde in Alliance because they suddenly realized that the evil Lich King might not be such a nice guy, and who use a rune-based ability system that deals a ridiculous level of damage and self-healing that basically makes them warlocks that can tank, which would be absurdly overpowered if they hadn't also broken just about every other class, and who start at level 55, almost ensuring that like half of the people who play them are hot garbage at it, making them the premier class for pulling 4 packs at once in a dungeon, dying instantly, and then getting mad about it. I mean, you gotta give it to him though. Putting Corpse Explosion in WoW was a pretty good idea. Experience the many quality of life improvements Wrath brings to the table, with minor tweaks that eliminate downtime or free up bag space, and larger changes like making the entire game easier than doing a hit in an old folks home, as even healing specs blast through quests and solo elites like they're nothing, and dungeons become speedruns.
Yeah, but back then it was like, oh my fucking god, finally, oh
You'll never even
my.
stop to drink, a pace that's only amplified when you get to heroics and realize you can face roll them in your questing greens, that once you're raid geared, they become an actual joke. A difficulty shift which carries on to the initial raids, most of which are just a guy in a room with like 2 mechanics that you can be in and out of in under 20 minutes. With the exception of Nax, which they lifted directly out of the end of Classic and barely changed, meaning you can get most of it done by grabbing a bunch of idiots out of LFG, making the in-game raiding experience much more accessible to the returning WoW player who developed an actual life in the intervening decade, but also made hardcore raiding feel like trying to be hardcore about tic-tac-toe, which still won't stop people from taking a week off work to be world first for something that thousands of people cleared 14 years ago. Because at the end of the day, nothing has changed from then and now. Well, maybe except for the kids you're neglecting to raid. Why are they crying? I already fed them once today. Immerse yourself in the true genius of the new expansion, the achievement system, as WoW finally finds a way to reward you for all the dumb completionist stuff they had in there already, like exploring the entire map, getting all the pets, or doing everything related to fishing, making it much easier to justify spending your entire day in the video game than ever before. Because instead of just sticking around, you're now working your way towards a title or a special mount in a system that will get the good brain juices flowing whenever you see a new badge flash up, but that hides a powerful shame when you actually think about the hours you spent to look like an off-brand Dora. So reach for those heirloom shoulders and get ready to renew your sub for a look at what is arguably the high point in the long history of WoW, despite the fact that they made it playable while letting a live salmon thrash around on top of your keyboard. Because at the end of the day, WoW isn't really about the difficulty, it's about the friends you made along the way. Nah, just kidding. It's about how high you can get those parse numbers to go. Always remember, the bigger numbers, the better the person.
Indeed.
Starring the Bisc-geared warrior that's still 2k DPS below the warlock, the disc priest who bubbles the whole party and then literally falls asleep, the rogue hitting like a down pillow because he doesn't have fan of knives yet, the warlock who has never heard of a thread meter, the holy paladin that can't get over their spec not being terrible anymore, the shaman who spends all day knocking people off ledges and Eye of the Storm, that one guy who's still playing Pharaoh Druid, the mage who dies every pull, the hunter whose pet name might be racist, but you're not sure, the death knight that absolutely won't be stopped for any reason, and Diabetes, Wrath of the High Ping. Did you know Wrath is the most positive depiction of living in the sewers since Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? Tell us.
This is the most stupid fucking like comment. Like, it's actually true, but like it is the most stupid comment I've ever seen about the. Oh my. All right. All right. World of Warcraft Battle for Azeroth on this trailer. Let's check this out.
The following trailer is rated H for honest.
In a world where massively multiplayer online games have fallen from grace, going from the biggest genre in the industry to a handful of games played by only the most dedicated of neckbeards, discover one of the few MMOs that has stood the test of time and survived enough expansions to go full anime. World of Warcraft Battle for Azeroth. Experience the passage of time firsthand, where long ago WoW's endgame was a massive grind to make potions so you could survive a brutal raid, and the most exciting thing that would happen was getting your corpse camped by a board level 60. But now it's a modern MMO theme park full of sideshows and diversions, and do pretty much anything in the game that's not on super duper hard mode with a handful of randos that you'll never speak to again. In an experience that's been so child-proofed, an unborn fetus could play it. And if you're still nostalgic for the days you had to miss your sister's wedding to a tune for Molten Core, they're bringing that back too. Delve into the long and prestigious history of World of Warcraft. From its inception in 2004 as a story about bitter rival factions of fantasy guys that became some of video games' most on-again, off-again frenemies, over the course of the next million content expansions, where they just stuffed a bunch of new continents in the middle of the map, featuring fighting demons in space hell with flying mounts, beating up skeletons in the Arctic as, ironically, Death Knights, the one where they blew up the world so they could let you fly in it without breaking the entire game, the one with the Kung Fu Pandas, the one that added mystic raids and garrisons so you could sims while you WoW, and tried to retcon the whole story by doing a bit from Back to the Future. And the most recent expansion, Legion, that brought you demon hunters, artifact weapons, and the return of everyone's favorite literal edgelord, Illidan, that ended up with a giant sword stabbing the planet. Oh, and Sylvanas burned down a tree and everyone hated it. Once you've understood the deep and rich lore of World of Warcraft's past, get ready to button through all the voice acting in the brand new expansion, Battle for Azeroth, that brings the battle back to Alliance versus Horde once again, with a revamped War Mode PvP system that will open up a ton of new skills and stats, Heart of Azeroth equipment that will have you scrambling for upgrade shards, 8 new unlockable races that are really just reskins with antlers or whatever, and 2 new continents full of guys asking you to kill 5 boars, as the Horde and Alliance battle once again over resources, in a war that seems like it came out of nowhere, even in a game called World of Warcraft. But honestly, God bless you if you care about the lore at this point. Everyone else is grinding Dungeon Finder while they watch Vanderpump Rules on their second monitor. Push past
Pretty fucking
all that
much.
tedious questing and storytelling and get to the real meat of WoW. Side games and collectibles. As you sift through the enormous pile of time-wasting garbage that has accrued in the corners of this game over 14 years, with thousands of armor sets, weapons, and toys to collect to make sure you're looking fly at all times, training pets to battle in a straight-up Pokemon ripoff, sending teams off on excursions like you're playing a mobile game, revisiting your garrison. Oh wait, no one does that anymore. Going back and soloing old raids because you can. And more seasonal events, goofy side quests, and mountains of achievements to gather than anyone but the most dedicated unemployed person could possibly hope to complete. As World of Warcraft pulls out every single trick in the book to keep the happy juice flowing in your brain, desperately trying to stay afloat in a genre that has been drowning for years. And what better way to get people back than returning to some Warcraft 3 shit? Hey, you guys, remember Orcs versus Humans? Daramore? You remember? You remember you guys? Please resub. So strap on those pauldrons and struggle to retain consciousness as you tank those ads in a game that has truly stood the test of time despite all odds.
It did, actually.
Paying a subscription fee in the year of our Lord 2018. Not to mention those special people who paid a bunch of money to play less of the game. Because why do the journey when you can just buy the destination? Gotta love that late capitalism. Starring Sea of Thicks, Heavy Metal Poisoning, Andalites? Who gets this reference? Night or Elves? Literally no difference. Road to Zandalari, Bullwinkles, Nightwell not even once, Asura's Wrath, and the Great Deku. Oh god, it's on fire.
Oh
World
no.
of Hearthstone, Battle for Subscribers. Finding out that Valerian dies was devastating, but nothing was worse than finding out that Leroy Jenkins was staged.
Yes, it was. It was actually staged. Can you believe that? Yeah, it was staged.
Hello everyone, this is your
Okay, let's check out some daily dose of internet and let's get something like less just more chill to just watch.
Or daily dose of internet. This eagle was just minding his business when a turtle started biting at his feet.
It's so cute. They're both so cute. Look at the turtle
This pilot
watching
is able
him.
to pour a drink into a glass while flying upside down. There's no magic going on, it's just messing around with the G-forces of the plane.
Yeah, because basically, like, by turning, like, it presses down, right, in the plane. That's why it's like, I don't know, like, it sounds like sounds evident, but you know, like, just in case. What the fuck?
This photographer
this is cool.
created some incredible time-lapse footage on Mount Everest.
Damn. Wow. God damn. Oh my god. Look at him. It's a bat, actually, by the way.
This professional rock climber is trying to move around the chair without touching the ground.
The air touched. It's not legit. Oh my fucking god. Sometimes I need to do effort to just like stand up, you know? Oh, this is cool as fuck. Oh my god. Look at him. And he knows. And he doesn't, actually.
This person has a framed hologram of a microscope that allows you to look inside.
What the fuck? This is cool. This is oh no, this is like what the fuck?
That's in this video. Hope you learned something new.
God.
And I'll see you guys again very
So what the fuck? Oh my.
soon.
What the fuck? Thank you so much for the video. Okay, let's watch some unusual meme, like... Okay. Måste ha ett pitch Yoshi screen. What the fuck? Oh my god! Oh my... It's so cute! It's so chill! He's such a good boy!
Kai, can I use your laptop?
Entendeu? Uma flor. Desenho. Entendeu, Douglas Roberto? Entendeu, Julendir?
This is good.
From your
I like it.
experience, you see someone actually walking away with a cheesecake there after the Cheesecake Factory was looted. Unclear where they may have gotten that, but, you know...
Oh my god. What the fuck loots a fucking Cheesecake Factory? What the fuck? Ah!
Nice.
Lo que te pasa a ti, maricón, huevón, hijo de puta.
Be careful. Oh my god.
Let's go! Oh no! Oh my god! He fell. All hope is gone. What the fuck? Oh, per you. No way. Not to the blind. Deja vu. That is in the trace before.
Spoke, I didn't ask for someone who's about to get smoked. Start taking notes on how you be dressing. Where'd you get this chain? 7-Eleven?
Oh, gross. Who bought the mayo?
What the fuck? Oh, perfect. Huh? Oh my fucking god, what the fuck? Okay, this is it. Like, check this out. Bam.
Bro! Can I? Yes! We burn popcorn, so... Can I? Go!
Oh my fucking god, what the fuck?
What are you doing? Come here, Gus. Gus, come.
Oh my god.
Don't say shit to me.
Okay.
Don't say shit to me. Don't say shit to me.
What do you do for
That man was gone.
Well, I spent 14 years in the military, but my
Oh my Oh my, what's wrong? Oh.
I seem to be wounded, but...
Oh shit.
And you're going to want to really hold on to that jar because it's going to want to take it out of your hands. And watch.
What the fuck is wrong with this person?
So what? Wait, wait.
Oh my god! How can you be this cute? Oh my fucking god!
Gave me some fives. I'm gonna give them all 5 more. Are they gonna get that? They gonna have all these things? Because I'm gonna drive.
They say what now?
Because I'm gonna drive. I was gonna see if it's gonna have where I can put them on the things on the falls.
For the drink?
Yeah.
We don't have any.
Oh, I was saying I can put them on the line to the drive. It's gonna follow the spill off.
No.
Okay. How does someone gonna hold it though?
We don't have any.
Y'all just got rid of them?
We gave out yesterday.
Oh, let's have a saying with the restocks.
Yeah, we're gonna restock.
What's some things on time?
Huh?
What's some of the things we're gonna time on five?
I understand.
I was gonna say with the falls from the time fives.
He's trying so hard.
When?
He's so nice.
I just spilled it on my crotch right here.
Oh my bad. I'm sorry.
That's all right. Sometimes when it does that, it makes me meow. Thank you, man.
Thank you.
He cares so little. I bet that it stays, but I couldn't be sure. All right. Okay. Right. That's it for today. For this stream. I'll see you another time, and as always, be toxic.